All right. So I was wondering why my car is so quiet. Sounds great when I crank it up, but then when it idles, it ain't very loud. This here's a Scat Pack, supposed to be loud. So I looked it up and says active exhaust. What is active exhaust? It says it's valves in the exhaust pipes that are closed to keep sound levels at a minimum when the engine is idling or light throttle. Oh, heck no. Okay, so what we're gonna have to do, we're gonna have to fix that. So let's do it. Oh yeah. Your Dodge Challenger Scat Pack. Alright, what do you think of that front end rake? Just like an old Challenger from back in the day. Alright, just kidding. We're up on jack stands, and if you don't have any of these, get you some little magnetic stand holders, and I added these removed before flight. That way I'll know when I see that red flag hanging down there, it's time to take those off. Don't forget and accidentally leave them up there because they're magnetic. They stay up there. It helps you work the jack easier. Okay, so here is the little active exhaust solenoid, or whatever you would call it, I guess. There's a spring in here that when it sends the signal, the spring opens and closes the valve in here. So what we're going to do is trick it. Apparently on the 19s and newer, you can just open this, wire it open, and it does not put a check engine light on. So we're going to try it, because this is the free option. The options that you can get for mechanical pieces that replace this, they're like $150, $180, or even some electrical plugs where you can just plug and play, unplug this harness and have a little bypass. They're like $180 maybe. So we'll try the free one, see if we like it, and if we do, either keep it or just go with another option once we know, yeah, we definitely want these valves open all the time. But let's start by taking this off, and I'll be careful to notice where the spring is when I get this thing off. But it looks like 1, 2, 3 8mm. And let's get rid of them. Alright, so we're going to take off these 3 nuts, 1, 2, 3, which I've already removed, and then pull this little modulator or whatever it is off. Pop the spring out. I'm going to hide this somewhere. And then we're going to just wire this open. It's open right now. When the car's off, it's in the open position. And I put a camera up the tailpipe so you can to confirm that this is open, and you can see when you close it what it does. Open and close. I'll put a little box with the camera showing it open and closing, but all I want to do is wire this open so it stays open all the time. And supposedly in the 19s and ups, you can take the spring out, wire it, put the system back, and it doesn't throw an engine code. So we'll see how easy that is to do, and see if it makes any difference in the sound at the idle and then low driving. So let's get after it. Okay, so I've tried about 4 different times with different gauges of wire, and when I twist them, they all break. Even the whatever it was, I think it was probably maybe a 19 gauge. 22 was a joke, it didn't last. 19 gauge snapped also when I tried to twist it tight. So I was like, well, you know what, zip ties fix everything, let's try that. So I put a zip tie, and that is actually tighter. I mean, I can't even think about budging that. That is tighter than any of the other attempts I had made before it broke with the wire. So I'm gonna go back on the other one and zip tie it. and see if that works. Okay, just to start from kind of scratch, here's the easy way. After I've tried about 3 or 4 different other ways, take these 3 out, pull this off, pull this spring out that comes out super easy, and then just loop a zip tie right over that bad boy. And when you tighten it up, and just make sure that it's all the way in the, that's closed, all the way in the open position, all the way, if you're looking at it clockwise, basically. Well, the zip ties are on, and literally that method took maybe 10 minutes. But it was a lot of trial and error with the other stuff. So will the zip ties last? I don't know. Maybe they'll last long enough for me to at least see what I think about it. Or if it affects the sound any better, if I like it better or worse, or whatever the case may be. But let's start it and see if we got any check engine lights. It's supposed to not have that. Let's see. No. I'll try to give it a few seconds here, see if anything pops on. I'll pull it out into the driveway, and the test is going to be driving around, the slow speed test, the idle test, how it sounds. Let's see what it sounds like right now on the outside. Well, I think I do notice a difference. It does seem like it's a little bit louder than it normally is at idle. You know, the cold start's always great, but it's not cold. I've run it a few times already. So let's take it around the block and see what kind of noises we can make. Yeah, sitting here at the light, I can definitely hear it gurgling back behind me, and used to you wouldn't. It would be nice and quiet. So I think I opened it up. We did give us a little something. We do definitely have a little bit louder idle. Let's give it just a little bit here. Oh yeah, that's way better. Definitely way better. Because see, before, when you're in auto and you're just driving around, you don't get to hear that cool exhaust noise. So opening that active exhaust, and I know why they did that. Obviously, a lot of people aren't going to want to hear this loud noise inside the car all the time, but I do, and there's plenty of others that want to hear that noise all the time. They get rid of that. So no check engine lights. This is a 21, but the rumor is 19, 20, 21. You can do that free active exhaust delete like I did, and you have no check engine lights. Doesn't do anything except for leave the valves open, which is the sound that you want. So I think we probably did it, and it really, if I wouldn't have messed around with those wires for so long, it really wouldn't have taken very long. Well, one thing I can say is it really makes auto mode way more fun, because you may not always want to have it in track, but you still get that sound. So that's definitely the way to go. So that's your free active exhaust delete. Hopefully it'll last with those zip ties on there, but we'll see. I'll keep checking it every now and then. I mean, it's a noticeable difference while I'm driving, so I'll definitely know if they don't work anymore, or if the zip ties come off, or whatever the case may be. So that's pretty nice. Very nice little feature. So, you know, now when I'm rolling through the parking lot, you know, I sound like I look a little more aggressive, and that's what you want. You want to have that oomph. You know, these things are so muscular, and then you drive through a parking lot and, you know, may as well be a Prius. So it's nice to be able to have the ability to kind of have the sound match the look. So All right, well, good luck with it, guys. If anybody wants to do it, it's another zip tie mod. Well, there's a lot of those out there and things, aren't there? So anyway, thanks for watching. All right, well, hopefully that wasn't a super confusing video. I haven't edited it yet while I'm making this part, but it was not as easy as I had thought it was going to be. I thought I could just get some wires. This is my camera that I use in the exhaust valve video, but anyway, I thought I could just get some wires and wire it up in the back. It'd be real easy, but turns out that's not the case. I ended up using the zip ties, which was way easier. So I took it out on a little test drive, and really it makes a huge difference driving through the neighborhood and then coming up to a stop sign, or just putting around, or especially if you're in automatic or auto mode, or some other mode that's not track, and you give it just a little blip of the gas. It sounds good instantly instead of having to wait for the full throttle push. It sounds good right from the get-go. So it's pretty fun. Like, I enjoy it. Really, when I first got in it, I was kind of not really able to notice a super difference. But then getting around town, or getting around the neighborhood, after I drove it and then came back, I could really tell a difference in pulling into the neighborhood. It's got that nice burble. You can hear the pops coming back when you let off the throttle. It sounds awesome. So I'm going to keep an eye on the zip ties and see how they last, see if they keep it open. But I'll know if something happens, because it's definitely a different sound in the low RPM range, which is nice, because to me that's been the biggest drawback of the car. I get why they have the active exhaust in there. It's because a lot of people aren't going to want to hear it, but I do, and it sounds incredible. And with this, really now that, and I'm not screwing around with these little wires that are breaking and whatever in the zip tie mod, I jack the car. It takes me longer to jack the car up and put it down than it does to undo those screws and take that spring out and then put a zip tie on there. That part was super easy, super fast, and if I ever want to put it back, no problem. Just put this spring right back in there, and the active exhaust will be working again as it should. So if it ever gets tiresome, or if I want to just change for a while, then no problem. Just put the springs back in there and it's good to go. So anyway, this may be the worst how-to video ever. I don't even know if I can piece it all together. But if I did, and you made it this far, and you have some questions, just put it down in the comments, and I'll see if I can keep an eye on it and address it. Because I know there's a couple videos, I think, about this, but not a whole lot. And I probably should have made a better one, because I got confused trying to figure everything out. But anyway, hopefully the last part of it with the zip tie is the part that you want, and you can do it super easy. So anyway, thanks for watching. Moving. So I'll tuck this up and then out of the way. Okay. Look. Son of a. This wire sucks.